Counter-Strike's weapons are priced in a very static manner. Even the smallest change can mean a world of difference to the game. But did you know that at one point, Counter-Strike's weapon prices changed on a weekly basis depending on popularity? Yeah, this was called the weapons market in Counter-Strike Source. You can imagine how this feature failed. The Deagle was consistently priced over $5,000 and the Mach 10 fell to just $140. Over the course of this feature, which only lasted about a month, the price of the M4A1S consistently rose, ending at around $7,000. Since every terrorist starts with a Glock, it was rarely bought, causing its price to fall so low that players would spam buy the weapon to lag the server. This is not the only strange part of Counter-Strike's past. There are loads, and that's what this video is about. Weird facets of Counter-Strike that don't really get talked about anymore. This is Counter-Strike Oddities. Wait, I've got big news for you. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, the cheap and easy way to trade out your old skins for something fresh. You can use code PENGUIN on the site to get two things. First off, you get $5 after you complete your first trade with a maximum bonus if you spend $100 on the site. And secondly, you get a 5% bonus when adding balance to the site. Combined with the 30% deposit bonus SkinsMonkey offers already, that's an extra 35% for you to spend. Follow my link in the description or the pinned comment and start trading today. We think of Counter-Strike now as 12 rounds and a half, first to 13 wins, with all of our current rules about planting, defusing, switching sides at the half, etc. However, it wasn't always like this. There was a period in the early days of Counter-Strike where formats were far less set in stone. One of my favorites of these early formats was called Chargers Only. This format is one where each half is not determined by an amount of rounds, but rather by time. A half would last, say, 20 minutes, and you can fit in as many rounds as you can in that time. However, the scoring system would be very unique, where points are only scored while your team is on the terrorist side. This incentivizes teams to work quickly while on the T side and disincentivizes slow and boring gameplay. So, why don't we play Chargers Only? Well, it does have some drawbacks. For instance, CTs play more passive and save more often, but that's also where the meta is going in Counter-Strike these days anyways. The real reason that we don't play Chargers Only is that the current style of Counter-Strike was what was used in the largest tournament series at the time, CPL. Notably, CPL Winter 2001. So, if your team wanted to make money, you had to play with the max rounds format. Before CSGO, Valve didn't actually have the rights to use the real names of weapons for Counter-Strike. The AK was the CV-47, the M4 was the Maverick M4A1 carbine, and the AWP was the Magnum sniper rifle. These old names are actually where we get the modern nicknames of the SSG-08 and I'm actually leaving that in because it proves the point, and the SG-553 from, as it's much easier to distinguish them by calling them the Scout and the Krieg. Counter-Strike has a lot of weird features still that we don't really talk about but are in reality quite strange. Run boosts, for example. Though they aren't necessarily always the most practical, one of the flashiest plays in Counter-Strike is the run boost, with one player stacked on top of another, both run in the same direction, and the player on top is launched as soon as they jump. The most famous is, of course, the Vertigo T-spawn to B stairs run boost, which is still really cool. For the first few days of the new Vertigo changes, this run boost was still possible in Wingman, even though the B site was sectioned off. In the early days of CSGO, a similar glitch existed on Assault, where through run boosting you could get completely out of bounds. Oh wait, did I say the early days? My bad. You could still do this on Assault up until the day CSGO was discontinued. Cash also has a quite practical run boost from the boxes on A site to Heaven. I'm only saying that as an excuse to show this clip of me run boosting into Heaven on Cash with a Zeus out without realizing that I had the bomb.
Throw a bomb, throw a bomb, throw a bomb. No, wait, that was bomb.
Self-boosts are another art within Counter-Strike that I love. Getting somewhere that you really shouldn't be able to go alone without the help of another player. They famously changed this section on Ancient into a self-boost, which I really like. Also, in the CS2 remake, Valve made the Inferno self-boost from balcony to patio much easier, which, while it lowers the skill ceiling, is still very cool because this angle's fun. This overpass self-boost into connector is one of my favorites, and while yes, it is possible in CS2, most people don't know it was also a self-boost in Global Offensive, just a lot tougher. Getting a kill out of this window is one of the most satisfying things in all of Counter-Strike. Grenades and utility are an integral part of Counter-Strike. Everyone knows when you left-click you throw far, and when you right-click you throw close. Most people probably know about middle-click as well, when you hold down both left and right-click and it throws it a middle-length distance. But did you know that there are actually practically infinite lengths that you can throw nades? Notice how during the time I'm switching between left and right clicking, my player model hand is moving between the positions. This isn't just a visual thing, it works gameplay-wise too. If you release your grenade during this transition, it'll go a distance completely different from the other 3 positions, depending on how close it is to either position. At the end of the day, the bread and butter of this YouTube channel is maps, so let's talk about some goddamn maps. I love the little interactive parts of maps that don't really matter. The snowman on Office, for example, or the TV on Mirage. Something that I love about the detailing on the new Inferno is that each and every piece of fruit is sliceable. How bananas will slice, watermelons will break, etc. While saving, this watermelon is perfectly positioned to be broken. When they updated chickens to be able to swim specifically for Anubis, that made me very happy as a fan of Anubis and chickens. I think every little chicken update that we get makes the game slightly better. An underrated aspect of CS2 versus CSGO is the new way that water works. Water is so beautiful in this game, and the way that it actually ripples and interacts with its environment is awesome. Case in point, grenade explosions in water. Even though there were really no detailing changes between CSGO and CS2, Anubis was transformed from a generally good-looking map into a legitimate piece of art due to the lighting and water changes. Another thing that was kind of implemented between CS2 and CSGO is a type of Easter egg that I really enjoy. Paintings or pictures of the old versions of the map in the new version. Italy has this painting right here, and Inferno has this photograph. I love this because it acknowledges that these maps have changed over time, and that's sick. Speaking of maps acknowledging their changes, in my last Oddities video that I released around a year and a half ago, I went on about the monitor in Inferno's apartments. The CS2 version of this is the Counter-Strike source setup in Church. I love that this is a through line from one version of the map to another. Counter-Strike is old, and the evolution of its maps is something that has remained fluid for the entire existence of the game. We're at the point where some maps have made a change, then later been like, never mind, that was a stupid move, and then switched it back to how it was before. The most recent example of this is Vertigo, where this section of elevators used to be open, then it was closed for a long time, and now it's been opened again. Another example is Dust 2's B doors. In 1.6, they were angled the same way that they are now. During the period from Source up until mid-2020, they were angled the opposite direction, and then most recently they were updated again to how they are today. Nuke plays host to the third major time that this happened, where Secret was removed and then re-added, albeit in a different spot from the original. As Counter-Strike continues to change, and as CS2 strays further and further from CSGO, the list of weird new things and weird old things will continue to grow. There will always be room for more Counter-Strike related oddities, and that's a large reason why I love the game. Over the past 2 years, Counter-Strike and its community have changed my life, most of that starting with the release of the original Oddities video. Thank you all for sticking with me and for subscribing, and here's to another 2 years. I love making these videos, and as long as anyone's here to watch them, I don't think I'll ever stop. Thank you.